the labels of this hierarchy. So sigmas, these men, they don't require validation from women to, or actually, I should say, they don't require attention from women. They don't actively seek it either. They do tend to get it, but it's just not one of their concerns. Um, so a woman who takes the time to get to know a sigma, what they'll discover is a deeply complex individual who at first glance seemed unassuming or boring or nerdy or whatever. Um, but the Sigma simply doesn't care how he's perceived. Uh, he is who he is, and he does what he does, and he does it with pure intention. Uh, if people see that, they do, and if they don't, they don't. It is what it is. Um, Now, while they don't actively, by they I mean Sigmas, while they don't actively seek positions of leadership, in their professional circles, they do often find themselves in that position. Um, and which is usually due to simply having a high level of competence. And when they find themselves in that position, they tend to execute it quite well because of their commitment to logic, objectivity, and their sense of fairness. Um, in general, Sigmas are, they're a net positive to any organization. Um, and sometimes other males might be intimidated by those traits or they may not understand them at first. And, you know, sometimes they might try to physically or professionally harm a Sigma or impede his professional development. And if the Sigma finds out that, someone is doing that, he has no problem confronting that person and saying, hey, why are you doing that? And which is very much unlike the Gamma, who, when if he is impeded somehow in his professional development, he would go an indirect route to retaliate. Now, the thing about the Sigma is that he will only take the energy to retaliate against some sort of, impediment to his professional progress if the grievance is worthy. Because sometimes some stuff just doesn't matter. It's too small. It doesn't matter. It doesn't, you know, the Sigma has already kind of, weighed the cost benefit analysis of using his time, which he'd much rather use for his own projects that he believes in. He's already done the cost benefit analysis of retaliating and, possibly formed a plan on how to retaliate and win successfully. But it all depends on the situation itself. Sigmas just don't, they basically they choose their battle. They choose which battles are worth fighting and which are not. Well-written TV shows give us a very good glimpse into these male archetypes. And for the Sigma, perhaps there is no better depiction of a true Sigma male. There are two, actually. One is Detective Lester Freeman from The Wire. Classic Sigma, very well written. David Simon is a journalist. David Simon, the creator of The Wire, is a journalist. He was a journalist for the Baltimore Sun. And he wrote a book in 1988 called Homicide, Life on the Streets, and where he had followed a squad of homicide detectives for a year, and all the characters in The Wire are based on people that he encountered during that 1 year that he followed them. The book is a very good book. a very good book set in Baltimore for all the B-more and DC fans. You know, they remember 1988 as being one of those years, you know, where DC was hot in more ways than one. And so Detective Lester Freeman, that character, that's a Sigma. That's a Sigma male. Um, in real life, a Sigma male, whom I would consider less moral than uh, Lester Freeman, would be writer Hunter S. Thompson. You guys might know him from the movie Fear and Loathing in Las Vegas. He was a drugged out, just a drugged out writer who was high the majority of the time. But he also existed outside of a hierarchy, and he grew to prominence just based on his competence in writing, which was which was pretty good. I mean, despite his personal flaws. And finally, the best one, the best example of a Sigma male that I have seen, right, is Detective Rustin Cole from season 1 of True Detective. He displays all the traits of a really pure Sigma. He doesn't care about the hierarchy. You know, he's a detective, so that means that he respects hierarchies to a certain degree. He follows his own code, his own principles, which are often better than the principles of the society that he's living in. And his morality is sound, and it won't be shaken, which is what makes a Sigma male a net positive. They're 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 morally aligned in the correct way, and they're not interested in having power, but they're not even interested in being right as such. They're not even interested in having friends. They just they they realize the fleeting nature of human nature itself, and how maybe someone is your friend today, and then tomorrow they might turn on you. They're ever cognizant of this reality, and so they have chosen to just kind of form their own moral standards and follow them. Uh, Friends be damned. If the friends want to, be with them, they do. If they're not, then they're not. And it is what it is. Now, one thing that should be mentioned that we should keep in mind is that I'm saying this. Excuse me, sorry. I'm saying this from China. So now, these descriptions of these male archetypes are based on Western standards. So when a Western male is transplanted to another place, misclassification of what kind of male he is might occur. For example, in the UK or US, someone who is pure gamma male, just addictive and just not like he's just not someone you want to be around for too long. Once you identify him as such, over here, that guy might project might be successful in his projection of alphaness or bravo-ness. But in actual fact, he is a gamma. And so usually alphas are never mistaken because they there's just too few of them, and when they walk into a room, you notice them pretty easily. They have that presence. So usually alphas, wherever they go, they're always noticed as such. Bravos are sometimes mistaken for alphas over here and other places, simply because they have the same traits of an alpha. And in fact, I would say a Bravo male who was transplanted to a country that had a different sort of classification for males in their hierarchy, a Bravo male might develop a vision that he would seek to implement here. Yeah, yeah, I can kind of see that. So that was basically it. And I'm not saying that these classifications are gospel or that they ring true, but I implore you guys, and I implore Black men especially, to just look around and look at the way that we are interacting with each other. Are we interacting in the right way? Are we all trying to be out? To me, from my perspective, from what I've seen over here, it looks like, you know, we're all trying to be the Highland. There can be only one. You know, you've got your Pookie and Ray Rays shooting up everyone, and then you've got, even in the Black conscious spaces, everyone wants to be the the top person when working together is actually the way forward. In my, that's just what I think from my perspective here. So that was basically it. And I hope that you guys take a look around and and see if if, if this new theory and how males interact with each other is valid. Just take a look around. Just observe and see for yourself. And I would personally, I would like to see Black males in America, whether you're ADOS or a name that I'm not going to say because I think that name was uh, purposely inserted to create division. So I'm not even going to say it. Um, but I do believe in ADOS. I do believe in reparation. I am a Pan African. And one thing that I would like to see is Black males start to form, these benevolent hierarchies for the betterment of our people. That's all I have to say about that. And thank you for watching. Good night.